Questions 1 through 10 on the 2010 Grade 10 Cayley Math Contest. The value of 6 plus 4 divided by 2 is. Order of operations is important. Remember, division always goes before addition. So first you would do this guy, which is going to be 2. And then you would add the 6, and that would, of course, be 8. So number 1, the answer is D. The minute hand on a clock points at the 12. The minute hand then rotates 120 degrees clockwise. Which number will it be pointing at? Well, we have to figure out from here, if we went 120 degrees, where would it be? Well, each of these numbers represents 1/12 of the total measurement around. So all the way around is 360 degrees, right? If you go all the way around once. So each of those represents 1/12. So 360 divided by 12 is 30 degrees. So if I go here, this is 30 degrees right in there. This is another 30, this is another 30, and this is another 30, like that. So 120 is basically 4 of those 30 degree movements. So you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. If you go to the number 4, you will have traveled 120 degrees clockwise. So the answer to number 2 is 4, which is choice C. X plus root 25 is equal to root 36. What is x? Root 25 is 5, root 36 is 6, so x is 6 minus 5, and therefore x is equal to 1. So number 3, the answer is A. 1 simplified 1 over 2 plus 2 over 3 is equal to, well, get a common denominator, that's going to be 3. And therefore this becomes 6 plus 2 over 3. That is 1 over 8 over 3. And then finally invert and multiply to give you 3 over 8. And therefore number 4, the answer is E. A rectangle has a length of 3 over 5 and an area of 1/3. What is the width of the rectangle? Well, area is equal to length times the width. The area, they have told you, is 1/3. The length is given as 3 over 5, and now we just have to figure out the width. So cross multiply, and this gives you 1 over 3 is 5 over 3, like this, for W. And therefore the width is 5 over 9. And number 5, therefore the answer is B. What is the measure of the largest angle of PQR? So we have PQR, and these are the angles right here. So that would be 3x plus 6x plus x, and that is equal to 180 degrees. So this becomes 10x is 180, and therefore x is equal to 18. Now they want the largest, and the largest is obviously 6x, the largest angle, and therefore that's 6 times 18, and 6 times 18 is equal to 108. So number 6, the answer is E. The mean average of 5 consecutive integers is 9. What is the smallest of these 5 integers? So there's a couple of ways of doing this. The first is just to understand that if the average of 5 consecutive integers is 9, then those integers must be on either side. So it's 7, 8, 10, and 11, like that. These are the 5 integers. Or if you don't want to do it that way, you can just write 5 consecutive integers in terms of x, like this, and then add them. And then to get the average, of course, you have to divide by 5, and that average is 9. So this numerator just becomes 5x plus 10, and then if you cross multiply the 5 and the 9, it gives you 45, and then 45 minus 10 is 35, which is 5x, and therefore x is equal to 7. So either way, you can figure out that the smallest of these 5 integers is 7. So number 7, the answer is 7, which is choice D. Square PQRS has an area of 900. M is the midpoint of PQ, N is the midpoint of PS. What is the area of triangle PMN? Well, if the length of the square, let's say, is S, then we know that S squared is 900. So S is equal to 30. So I'll just put that there. Now, M is the midpoint, so this whole distance is 30. And if M is the midpoint, then from here to here is 15. And very similarly, if N is the midpoint, then from here to here is also 15. So the area of that triangle is 1/2 base times height. So it would be 1/2 15 times 15. So that's 225 divided by 2. And that is 112.5. So number 8, the answer is B. Which of the following lines, when drawn together with the x and y axis, encloses an isosceles triangle? Well, let's just draw a graph and see what kind of scenario we can create. Well, we want an isosceles triangle, so something like this, right? Where this side is the same as that side. And of course, this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. Now this line is going to be one of these 5 lines, and we have to figure out which one it is. Well, the only way it's going to be an isosceles triangle, obviously, is if this side is equal to that side. And that basically means that the x-intercept, which is right here, has to be the same as the y-intercept in terms of its numerical value. And if you fiddle around with these equations, you'll find that this one gives you that. So if y is equal to minus x plus 4, the x-intercept, you set y equal to 0. So minus x plus 4. That means x is 4. So x is 4 is where that line crosses the x-axis. To find the y-intercept, you set x equal to 0 in this equation. So that would mean y is equal to 0 plus 4, and therefore y is 4. So this is going to be 4. And therefore, as you can see, those two lines, or those two sides of that triangle, both equal 4, thus creating a isosceles triangle. So the answer to number 9 is C. There are 400 students at Pascal High School where the ratio of boys to girls is 3 to 2. There are 600 students at Fermat Collegiate Institute where the ratio of boys to girls is 2 to the third. When considering all the students from both schools, what is the ratio of boys to girls? So at the first high school, it's 3 to 2 for boys to girls. And there's 400 students, right? So we've got 3 and 2, so that's 5. 400 divided by 5 is going to be 80. So we just multiply 3 times 80 to get the number of boys, 2 times 80 to get the number of girls, and that's 160. So that takes care of Pascal High School. Now, Fermat Collegiate Institute, their boy-to-girl ratio is 2/3, and they have 600 students. So in a very similar way, 600 divided by 5, if you do that, you get 120. And therefore, 2 times 120 is 240, and 3 times 120 is 360. So this is the ratio of boys to girls at Fermat CI. Now they want the total boy-to-girl ratio for both high schools combined. Total number of boys would be 240 plus 240, which is 480. Total number of girls will be 160 plus 360, which is 520. And 480 over 520 in lowest terms is 12/13. So number 10, the answer is B.